Hello, my name is Kalysha Closson.
And my name is Melanie Lee. Today we're going to be presenting on sexual relationship power, condom use, and violence among women living with HIV in Canada. Chivos acknowledges the land on which we gather is the unceded ancestral traditional territories of the Coast Salish, Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. We honor and remember the 73 self-identified women living with HIV who were participants in Chivos from across Canada who have passed away and are no longer with us. We have no conflicts of interest to declare. Lower sexual relationship power, SRP, including controlling behaviors within intimate relationships, have been linked with increased HIV risk, low condom use, and experiences of violence. Among women living with HIV, few studies have examined associations between SRP and condom use and violence. The objective of the study was to measure the psychometric properties of the relationship control subscale of the sexual relationship power scale and associations with condom use and experiences of violence among women living with HIV in Canada who have had consensual sex in the last month.
Baseline data was drawn from women living with HIV, 16 years of age or older, enrolled in the Canadian HIV Women's Sexual and Reproductive Health Cohort Study, or CHIWOS, who have reported having consensual sex in the last month. Peer research associates collected questionnaire data in British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec. Polowitz's original 2000 relationship control subscale, with the items listed here in the table, was trichotomized and low and medium scores were combined and compared to high scores, with higher scores equaling greater sexual relationship power. So you can see here, item 1, if I asked my partner to use a condom, she would or he would get violent. So if participants agreed to this, they would have lower scores on the scale and higher scores for those who disagreed to this item. Exploratory factor analysis in Cronbach alpha assessed scale reliability, and multinomial logistic regression examined associations between relationship control and condom use. So never condom users and inconsistent condom use versus consistent. Any violence, so any sexual, physical, and/or emotional, previous but not in the last 3 months, or current in the last 3 months versus never, and any physical and/or sexual violence, so current in the last 3 months, previous but not in the last 3 months versus never. All models adjusted for age, education, ethnicity, income, housing stability, and gender discrimination. And gender discrimination was measured using the gender discrimination scale, with higher scores indicating greater gender discrimination.
Out of a total of 1,422 women in our study, most women were excluded because they hadn't had sex in the last month. So our final total was 473. Those 473 women were 33% of our cohort, and their median age was 39. 81% were on antiretroviral therapy, and 78% reported an undetectable viral load. 55% had higher school education or higher, and their ethnicity was 42% white, 24% indigenous ancestry, 27% Black, 32% mixed or other race. 43% of the women were from Ontario, 29% were from BC, 28% were from Quebec, and 66% of the women made less than $20,000 a year.
As you can see here, in comparing women with low or medium relationship control to those with high relationship control, women with high relationship control were more likely to be married or in a relationship and more likely to use condoms consistently. Women living with HIV with low or medium relationship control had lower personal income, experienced greater discrimination scores, and experienced greater violence in the last 3 months. So you can see this was pretty stark, with 56% of women with low or medium relationship control having experienced violence in the last 3 months, compared to 19% of women with high relationship control, and 33% of women who experienced, of women with low or medium relationship control experienced physical and/or sexual violence in the last 3 months, compared to less than 5% of women with high relationship control. Keeping potential confounding factors constant, women living with HIV with high relationship control scale scores had lower odds of inconsistent versus consistent condom use, but there was no significant difference between never condom use and consistent condom use. Women living with HIV with high relationship control scores had lower odds of current, so in the last 3 months, but not previous violence of any kind, and lower odds of current but not previous physical and/or sexual violence. We found good reliability and validity for the relationship control sexual relationship power subscale, with a Cronbach alpha of 0.92 among women living with HIV in Canada. The majority of women living with HIV in our study had high relationship control subscale scores, and much higher than women in the original Pullewitz's study, who were not living with HIV or had HIV unknown status. Our results align with previous studies that found that high relationship control was associated with reduced experiences of recent violence and increased consistent condom use. Therefore, programs that prioritize building safety and support for women are critical to addressing violence and promoting positive sexual health outcomes.
We would like to thank all participants, PRAs, co-investigators, and collaborators, the National Steering Committee, Provincial Community Advisory Boards, Group and Topic-Specific Advisory Boards, and the partnering organizations who support study recruitment and operations, and CIHR as the CHIWO's funder.